What are some of the biggest expectations from this budget? In the last budget, the Finance Minister implemented various modifications to the concessional tax regime. This favoured both the middle class with lower tax rates and high-income taxpayers with a limit on the highest surcharge rate. To encourage a wider adoption of this regime, a few changes to the CTR may be considered, and of course the government will have to do the maths around keeping the essence of the CTR versus the more widespread adoption. Some aspects to be addressed to make the CTR more beneficial, or some socks that can be added to the CTR are availability of deductions for interest on housing loan for self-occupied property, medical insurance premiums, donations, maybe a lump sum deduction for all of these. All of these are investments that individuals have been making throughout their life, especially for salaried individuals. And therefore, this will encourage making these, these savings in that sense, and also make the new tax regime or the concessional tax regime more attractive. I think building in the HRA in some form or manner may be another useful SOP, because a lot of people are living on rent. We know about the booming, real estate industry in India. So that SOP could be built in. Taxpayers should also be allowed to opt for the CTR in revised or belated tax returns. Another thing could be increase in the frequency to exercise the option to switch tax regimes for taxpayers having income from business or profession. That's the first big expectation. Apart from changes in the concessional tax regime, there is a pressing need for long overdue adjustments in the old tax regime as well. We are hopeful about the possibility of raising standard deduction from the current limit of 50,000 to maybe making it 1 lakh rupees. The ATC limit, which is the PPF, life insurance deductions, etc., needs an overhaul as well, as the current limit of 1.5 lakhs has not been increased since the financial year 2014-15. So a hike to about 250,000 rupees would be great. Another change much requested is related to home loans, which is an increase in the deduction on home loan interest payments from 2 lakh rupees to 3 lakh rupees, as also the removal of the cap of this 2 lakh rupees for offsetting house property loss against other heads of income in the same fiscal year. The third big expectation really is the rehaul of the capital gains tax regime. We currently have 3 sets of holding periods for various classes of securities, etc., which is 12 months, 24 months, and 36, depending on whether they are equity, debt, or hybrid. We also have different rates, various different rates for long-term and long-term capital gains. We also have different rates for residents and non-residents in some cases, and also the indexation benefit differs between residents and non-residents. All of this makes the capital gain system very complex and very difficult. People want to do the right thing, but have lots of, I'd say, a lot of menu to deal with. So maybe a rationalization and keeping maybe 1 or 2 holding periods or 1 or 2 rates, especially for the same class of securities,